Hello, it's Steve with CarSmart, Niagara Falls, Ontario, and we have a Chevrolet TRAX LTZ, or LTZ, all-wheel drive. This is the fully optioned model of this, and this is a nice little vehicle. Again, not that little, I guess mid-size. All-wheel drive, of course, so for four-season, traction and safety. And this is actually one of the safest sort of small to mid-size cars on the road. It has 10 airbags, which we'll go over in again, it's got the top rating for crash testing from both the NHTSA and the other crash testing agency in the U.S. that do crash, vehicle testing. And again, it's what's called a 5-star rating. It's a top safety pick from both agencies, and it's again, it's a nice, I guess, compact SUV. It's not a big full-size SUV. It's not going to pull 7,000 pounds or anything like that. But for somebody looking for a good fuel economy, a safe car, easy to get around in, easy to park, this I think will check all the boxes for many, many folks. The color is lovely too. It's called Crimson Metallic, but a nice deep burgundy red. You can see it in the sunshine there. The paint is in fabulous shape. This has a clean Carfax history. It's got rust protection on it. The LTZ gives you big 18-inch wheels, nice big alloy wheels, 4-wheel disc brakes, and these are virtually brand new tires. They've only got about 5,000 kilometers on them. As we walk around, you'll see things like this Husky sort of, they call them a hood protector, but this is nice. I like this style, because rather than sort of sitting out from the hood where it can collect leaves and other debris, it's a flush mount, so it sits tight to the hood. And bugs and stones and everything else don't get damaging on your hood. Quartz halogen, sort of jeweled headlights, fog lights down below, all part of the LTZ package. It's got the color keyed mirrors that are what they call a breakaway design, so if they get bumped, they're not going to break, do any damage. They're power adjustable from inside. Of course, full power windows, door locks, mirrors. Up top, we've got a nice big oversized sunroof that both vents in that current position and of course drops and slides fully open. Roof rack rails, so if you're into outdoor sports where you need to carry those kayaks or snowboards on the roof up to the slopes, again, you can do all that kind of stuff nicely with it. Roof racks can come with many different I guess modules that you can put on them, so whether you need to carry bicycles or just luggage, extra baskets, all kinds of options you can do with that. You see the little shark fin antenna up there with that mast antenna. This has satellite radio, so again it accommodates that with that satellite antenna, plus of course AM and FM as well. We've got a rear camera system, full color with a color rear vision camera. Park assist sonar wrapping around the rear, so you have both an audible beeping that happens, and as you close in on an object, the beeps get progressively tighter until you get a solid tone, and when you get that solid tone, it tells you you're about 12 inches from making contact. Of course, you do have the camera as well. The vehicle is protected with sort of splash guards at all 4 corners. All wheels have them, and you'll see that cladding that extends up over the wheel arches, goes down, and then protects the lower section of the doors themselves. See how clean this is inside, and then that cladding goes deep down underneath here, pinch seals, and that protects down in where the rocker panels are on the vehicle. So again, this is rust free and in real good shape. Premium audio package, BOSE audio, no doubt you've heard of BOSE. Again, this is a 7-speaker premium system. It's got a heavier power amp, some more power, more punch, a rear subwoofer in the trunk under where the spare tire is. You can see lots of storage there, tall bottle holders, power windows, door locks, mirrors, all on the side. Tilt and telescopic steering wheel adjuster. You've got a leather wrapped sort of sport 3-spoke wheel. Headlights themselves are automatic control. Fog lights are activated just by tapping on that little center section. And this is our dimmer switch inside. We've got hood release. We've got a handy little storage compartment that pops out, and in behind there is also a fuse panel. You've got knee airbags for both driver and passenger. You've got dual stage frontal airbags for both driver and passenger. You've got side impact seat mounted airbags for both front and rear seats. You don't normally see them on the rear seats in cars of this class. And then you've also got curtain airbags extending up over the top windows for front and rear. So again, 10 airbags throughout. Folding sort of armrest right on the driver's seat. You've got an 8-way power adjustable driver's seat, including a power lumbar support for your lower back. Nice leather interior, heated seats. It's got all the goodies. So this has just 144,000. As you can see there, 144,454. Nice clean instrumentation, nice big simple tachometer there that's showing your engine speed. Your vehicle speed is all digitally displayed with a nice big sort of central display there. And through the menu you can go through and sort of adjust that to show, for example, miles per hour if you're traveling stateside, and just a few adjustments here on the center on the menu to change that over can easily be accommodated. This is your trip odometer, your zero right there. And of course you've got a number of other features here. Of course, fuel gauge. You've got a trip computer up there as well. Now that was just zeroed out, but again it tells you things like your distance to empty, what your current average, what your trip average is on your fuel economy, so you can find that sweet spot for the best fuel economy. The large P there is just indicating that we're in the park position with the automatic transmission. We also have a compass display there, so we're currently pointing northeast. So again, a nice clean layout. That little red light is just a seatbelt warning light. As we move up top, you'll see things like side window demisters, sort of tweeters, small dome tweeters that really give you that nice high, clean, clear treble notes. You've got individual sort of flow controls on both outboard vents, and these sort of adjust up and down in any direction as well. Central vents. There's an extra little storage cubby hole up top. These little slots are real handy for things like putting your phone in there, for example. You can just sort of drop that in there. Of course, you could even set your phone up inside here, and for your navigation stuff, etc. as well, or use it for storage. We've got a nice big 7-inch full color central sort of infotainment system, so it's more than just a radio. It's got your audio, it's got the backup camera, all your smartphone links, and excuse me, telephone, of course, Bluetooth hands-free phone, Bluetooth streaming, all the good stuff. When we put it into reverse, your backup camera comes up there. We're kind of facing right into the sunlight here, so we're getting a bit of glare, but you can see you have also a sort of a distance marker on that rear system as well. If you hit the home button there, that takes you back to your basic home page, your on-off button, volume controls. Okay, we are back. My apologies, a little interruption there. So getting back to sort of the whole infotainment system, right now I've got my smartphone hooked up through Bluetooth, and you can see playing Black Rose there through, actually this is through Amazon Music, but the nice thing with these, of course, you get to choose which music service. You might use Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, etc. They're all compatible with this, and of course all smartphones will work with this as well. Steering wheel as well, again, it's a nice tight rim, thick rim, I should say, and it's nicely contoured, leather wrapped, so so hold your hands nicely at that sort of 10 and 2 o'clock position. You've got cruise control on the left sort of spoke. Over on the right spoke, you've got all your volume controls. Your source controls by tapping would sort of take you from streaming to AM, FM, satellite radio, etc. And then you can go up and down for like track changes in this case, where go to the next song on my playlist, or if you're on radio, that's going to go to the next station. And then you've got all your Bluetooth phone, mute, and this also has Siri's Eyes Free. So if you're familiar with Apple, Siri, of course, is the voice assistant, so you can do a lot of voice-operated commands as well. As we move along, we've got stability control, or StabiliTrak in the GM world, and this is both a combination of anti-skid control or stability control plus all-speed traction control. So any wheel spin, even with all-wheel drive on real slippery surfaces, your tires can still spin, and this will help limit that by using the anti-lock brakes to sort of slow down the wheel spin and sort of gain traction, allow it to sort of hook up and get you moving. You can even cut engine power in extreme situations to make sure you're going to gain traction. Center button here is your hazard lights, your four-way flashers. Over here is just an indicator for passenger airbag on this side. Right now you'll see the little X through there. And that's just telling us that that frontal airbag on the passenger side is now turned off because there's nobody in the seat. And it won't turn on until the weight sensor in that seat triggers it. That's usually about 90 to 95 pounds. So once it recognizes an adult sort of size individual sitting up there, it turns on your airbag for safety. Otherwise it leaves it off, giving you the ability to have a child or a youngster in between, or anybody under 90 pounds for that matter, sitting up front and keeping it safe by turning off the airbags. Now we do have sort of two storage compartments, so an upper storage compartment, and you can see inside there both an auxiliary audio input jack and a USB port. So these are iPod compatible, so if you have an iPod for your music playlist, that will work in there. Of course, the USB port, you can plug in USB sticks or other MP3 devices to send media in. Of course, you can see a nice big glove box there, lots of space. All those pockets on the doors give you even more space. There's a space here. Underneath the passenger front seat, there's a pull-out storage compartment. Now, it's difficult to do from where I'm sitting, but the passenger front seat is what they call a fold-flat design. If you pull up the recline lever, it will tilt all the way down and sit flat, so you can have long loads coming right through from the back seat all the way up to the front dash. Up top here we have height adjustable seat belts with collision pretensioning. Pretensioners, as their name suggests, will tighten up the seat belt really within milliseconds of detecting a serious accident. They're all linked to the same sensors that will trigger airbags. So accident happens, pretensioners basically go off and they tighten up those seat belts, and by really cinching up those belts so there's no slack, it just does a much more efficient job of restraint and keeps everybody safer. So Carfax, let's zoom in here. No accident, no damage, no nothing. Ontario car since new, 19 service records. You can see if you look all the way back at the beginning, it looks like it came out of the Bowmanville area, but more recently in Niagara Falls. I actually took this vehicle in on trade back in the fall, and my wife's been driving it ever since. She does very low mileage. She's probably only put 1,000 kilometers on it, but again, it's time to sell and move on, and again, this is a good value price car. We have up top here an auto-dimming rear view mirror, OnStar, which is GM's sort of integrated satellite hookup for emergency services, etc. Overhead here we do have lights, of course, and you can leave it in the center for its door switch. You have individual sort of spotlights on either side, embedded microphones for driver and passenger, so this is what's picking up your voice when doing any kind of voice activation operations. On the back of each visor you see these little clips, which are handy for putting receipts or notes or business cards or anything you want to have close by. And then you've got two switches here for both tilting, venting that big sunroof, or for power operation and sliding it all the way back. So you can see everything works perfectly. There is a sunshade there that pulls out manually. There's also a pop-up sort of deflector at the front, and that helps sort of reduce a buffeting effect you can get with the sunroof open. You can also mitigate that by just cracking the rear windows about half an inch, and that reduces that pressure wave. If you're at all light sensitive, or if it's sitting in the hot sun, you can close that up. And you see how they've got little slots here. That allows you to vent it, but still keep it shaded and allow airflow through. So again, lots of different options there. Both mirrors have illuminated visor vanity mirrors, all triggered with that little on-off switch. Then we have anti-whiplash seats and active head restraints. curtain airbags that extend over the front, and as mentioned earlier, we've got those side impact airbags for both front and rear seats. So let's get up and we'll move into the back, into the trunk or hatch area, and finish up under hood. So as soon as we swing open the rear doors, first thing we'll point out is what they call child-proof door locks. You can just stick the shank of your key in and give it a 90-degree turn, and that locks that rear door by basically preventing that rear handle operation. So it has to be opened from outside by a parent or caregiver. And of course, nice little storage areas. Again, more storage for tall drinks. Speakers down below there. Power window switch. Power windows can also be defeated from the front. So again, same thing. You can keep everyone safe so they're not playing with it. And you'll see you've got two, like a flexible stretch net on the one side and a nice pocket on this side. Down below the seats, kind of difficult to see, but there are heat and air conditioning vents coming out from underneath both seats. And then this is a sort of 110 volt sort of regular 3-prong plug. So it has a built-in power inverter that converts it from 12 volt to, actually it's a 120 volt, so basically household current. So you can plug in that laptop or any kind of device. Maybe you're off on a working job and you want to plug in your battery charger while you're en route. All kinds of things you can do with that you can't do in most cars. We have a flip-down armrest with cup holders. The seats themselves flip and fold from the side here. There's a little, it's tucked in right now, but this seat lifts up. It's hard to do with one hand. And then the top seat folds forward, giving you a nice flat load area. You've got height adjustable headrests on both sides. Say that 60-40 split design. So it really opens up and gives you lots of cargo space. Sort of a subtle sort of spoiler in the back, and that helps keep moisture off the rear window. It sets up sort of an eddy or a wave in the back. But we do have a rear wiper washer, the washer nozzle up top, the wiper there. Also a third LED brake lamp for more safety. And again, you see there it's the LTZ all-wheel drive model. So on the underside there is a little soft touch release. Flips up. Cargo lamps. Storage here. There's a storage compartment here. All kinds of storage. Flip this up. Your spare tires underneath. That's the rear subwoofer. So this is part of that BOSE system. And you'll see all the little storage compartments all the way around. Your jack and tools and everything are all underneath. But still actually quite a bit of space in and around the side there, so you can tuck things like jumper cables, extra stuff you're not using on a regular basis, washer fluid containers, etc. inside. Now, let's finish up under hood here. Tricky with one hand, but just sort of to the left of that sort of Chevy bow tie, there's a little lever. There we go. And that opens up. So, Ecotec 4-cylinder, it's a 1.4 liter. Double overhead cam, a low pressure turbo, and quite peppy. I'll give you the specs here in a second. I just want to focus in on two things. One is an electronic rust control module, and it's got a nice heavy duty battery that's recently been changed as well. Other fluids, if you want your coolant and washer fluid, brake fluid, etc., oil dipstick and everything is easy to get to. The actual engine specs, again, it's important to note too that these run on regular gas, so not only are they effectively a fuel miser, they run on the least expensive gasoline. 138 horsepower and 148 pound-feet of torque, which is plenty of power for this size of vehicle. And again, running on the cheapest fuel to keep it all economical. So, all-wheel drive safety. It's got the top safety rating in its class for crash testing, 10 airbags. It checks a lot of boxes, so this is going to make a nice car for a young family or any individual that is looking for this in an active lifestyle. I'm Steve, we're CarSmart. Thanks for watching.